Welcome back, another episode. This week's Tulsa King has a long scene in the middle that is best explained by equating it with the character played by Jon Stewart in Half-Baked. Ever watch Sylvester Stallone in a role as a mob boss while high on marijuana? Dwight Manfredi goes completely bonkers during a long drive from Tulsa to a secluded wind farm situated on tribal territory. He becomes quite perplexed over the banned fish's name and goes on a long diatribe accusing Canned Heat of damaging his hearing and saying that everyone holds other people accountable for their own shortcomings as it's all a pie of lies. He just basically annoys Bodhi, a seasoned stoner who is over this kind of behavior by now, while entertaining his boys Mitch and Tyson to the hilt. There are two reasons why this scene is charming. 1. It implies quite strongly what mental state is ideal for seeing Tulsa King. Secondly, it occurs in the midst of an episode that revolves around the several criminal factions targeting Dwight, ranging from Tulsa, Kansas City, and New York. To be honest, Tulsa King could be better off playing Stallone plays a genial guy caught up in a web of tense intrigue. We'll start by going over each player, starting with KC head coach Bill Bevilacqua, whose made guy right-hand man was assassinated by Dwight's forces last week after being deceived. He is enraged, not just at Dwight but also at Chicky and Vernizzi, his supervisor in New York, whom he holds responsible for the flawed intelligence that resulted in the failed hit on Dwight, and he is unable to give the man a dignified funeral without triggering a murder inquiry. Chicky, who has a tendency to take things personally, makes up for being taken advantage of by Bevilacqua by essentially boasting that he killed his father, the family's former employer. It is safe to say that this is a huge no-no, but at least his soldiers are polite enough not to ask him directly about it. Nevertheless, thinking the bossman can no longer be trusted, his underboss Vince approaches Bill directly. The possible double agents in Dwight's group are coping with the consequences of their choice in Tulsa. Underboss Goody stabbed Bevilacqua's hitman in the back last week because he decided to stick with Dwight. He is now the epitome of paranoia, constantly worrying about who will beat him first, a vindictive Bill or an enraged Chicky, who suggested Goody for the attempted murder and was subsequently chastised by Bill. He winds up sticking his revolver in the mouth of an Uber Eats driver who passes by him one too many times. But Thresher has larger fish to fry than losing out to Dwight on the bidding war. He requests to have the plug removed after learning that Jackie, the Chinese stakeholder in his marijuana farm, has been covertly growing heroin inside the massive cannabis grow. Jackie decides to move the negotiations forward after receiving one too many demands. Dwight and his staff are also impacted by the other type of family. Dwight's sister recognizes almost immediately that he is up against it and accurately tells him that he would definitely face consequences, probably from those close to him, for starting a rebellion and killing one of his adversaries. The early parts of the episode, when Tyson and Bodhi are still recuperating from the disposal of the would-be hitman's body hours earlier, are the only real downfall. With his eyes fixed on the blood on his sleeve, Tyson appears confused and disoriented. Bodhi makes a threat to end his business relationship with Dwight and step down completely. I understand, and I believe it's a terrific concept to demonstrate what happens to a person who lives a life of crime. Murder crime, not drug crime. It is quite unlikely that Dwight and his millennial sidekicks will ever have a deep and permanent falling out, just as it is unlikely that he will die and Garrett Hedlund will take center stage rather than Sylvester Stallone. Dwight is surrounded by surrogate kids and grandkids who like his recollections about the Fillmore East and find his comments about their music being noise endearing. That kind of desire fulfillment makes superheroes look bad in the eyes of certain people. For more videos, subscribe.